Hi there, my name is Elise and I'm the founder of She Is Light. I'm really excited to be able to talk to you today and it's honoured to be featured on this YouTube channel. I went to a private Christian high school and the same school also for my primary school education. I've always been a Christian, I've grown up in a Christian family, so that's been a really big blessing for me. I've always known God and I haven't questioned him. So I'm really thankful for that. But throughout school, I guess going to a Christian school, the majority of people were really accepting of the fact that I was a Christian or that other people were Christian. So I wasn't picked on. I can't really recall any particular moment. So I was really really thankful that I got to go to a school like that. How did I go about sharing my faith? Well, I actually, I guess just by being open. I wasn't afraid. I think that's just because of the environment that I was in. I think towards the end of high school, sometimes it can be a little bit difficult because everyone has really strong opinions and wants to debate. But honestly, I wasn't afraid just to say, hey, this is what I believe in. It's not so complex. Jesus loves you. It's actually not as complex as people can make it out to be. All you have to do is accept him. Of course, other people are always going to have their own opinions for whatever reason, but I've honestly felt quite comfortable with just being open about my faith. Some opportunities that I had to really share my faith were on some trips that I went on. So we did these things called service trips or mission trips where we go out to some communities, local communities. We just help them out. We talk about God. We might run a church service. Another opportunity that I had, I guess, would just be in chapels. And also when I was in year 11 and 12, I co-led a group for girls who were in year 8 and 9. So it was a lunchtime group, I think it was fortnightly, and we basically just hung out, talked about Jesus, talked about life. So that was a really good opportunity to be able to share my faith and just be real to some girls who were younger than me at the time. I can't actually think of a thing that was the hardest thing that I may have struggled with while being a Christian throughout high school. As I said, I went to a school that was a Christian school. It was really accepting. The majority of people were really accepting of that. So it was actually quite easy and it was encouraged to be open about your faith. Was the experience of being Christian in high school different than I expected? No, because I don't think I really expected anything. I was going to the same school through primary school and then into high school. I was just myself, to be honest. So no, it wasn't. As a Christian, I didn't really feel lonely because there were other people who were as well. I was friends with people who weren't Christians as well. It was a really cool environment. People were quite accepting. I guess in terms of being lonely, we all feel like that when we're teenagers and even into adulthood. There's times in high school where you just feel a little bit out of place, where you feel like these girls are all really close friends and maybe I'm not as close friends with them, or they're doing something, they didn't invite me. It's just life. Life happens. And I think for me, it was just about spending time with the friends who were really close to me, the people who I could really trust. I'm a big people person. I have lots of friends and I did in high school, but for me, it's just about connecting in with that one person or another person here and just spending quality time with people. Were there times when I felt like giving up or just going with the crowd? I've got to say for the most part, no, because the friends that I had around me, I guess they were into similar things. They weren't doing anything that I was really uncomfortable with. So, you become like the company you keep, and if you keep people around you who are good quality and who believe the same things that you do and keep those same morals and standards, then it's a lot easier. But of course, it's fine. I mean, I had friends who were into stuff that maybe I wouldn't have done, and I was still friends with them, and I honestly felt comfortable in who I was, not to have to go down that path, but I was just able to love them and be their friend as well. Were there times when I didn't notice the light inside me, whereas other people did? Depends how you want to take that question, but I guess it could mean, you don't realize how well you've done something, or you don't realize your own potential and how well you've done. I think we're the biggest critic of ourselves, and I'm sure there were times when I would have said, oh, I've done an awful job, I'm not good at this, I'm not good at that, but there were people in my life, I'm sure, parents, my family, my close friends, who would have seen that potential and believed in me. What was one of the best things I remember about being a Christian in high school? Probably just being able to be who I was, and just knowing God throughout all of the times when you're questioning things and you're going, you know, things with boys, or you have emotions there, things with friends, your grades. There's so many different things to focus on, but just knowing simply that you have a relationship, just knowing that I had a relationship with God, really just grounded me. Were there times when someone ever made me feel ashamed about my faith? No. People did. I do recall a particular class in which, it was a physics class actually, gotta love those science classes, where we had a little bit of a debate and people were saying, no, God's not real, yada, yada, yada. And I was quite comfortable in saying, no, he is, and this is what I believe. I didn't feel ashamed for that because I knew God in my heart. So I think when you know him, you know who he is. No one can make you feel ashamed for believing something that you are convinced is the truth and that you know in your heart is the truth. How did I stay true to who I was? I think when you're a teenager, obviously you have a lot of different influences, and it's actually a big time of discovering out who you are. So I think for me, it was discovering who I am, gaining my confidence. Yeah, you have lots of different friends. Well, that was for me anyway. So sticking to who I was, I think I was just learning and getting to know who I was really. But for me, I'm so grateful that I had a close relationship with God, and I had that relationship with him. So he was my grounding. That's something I'm so thankful for. If I could give one piece of advice to a Christian who may be struggling in high school, or to someone who may just be about to start high school, it would be this. Honestly, I would just say simply, you know God. You have him. You have direct access to him. You have a personal relationship with him, and you can access him 24/7, all day long. It doesn't just have to be when you're at home, when you're in your bedroom. You can chat to him in the day. You can chat to him during your class. You can chat to him during lunchtime if you feel left out. Yeah, just remember that you actually have direct access to him, that he's with you, that he's for you, that he goes into the day ahead of you, that he protects you, and that he is always wanting and giving you the best. One tip for sharing the gospel in high school. Well, from my perspective, I guess it was a bit easier because I went to a Christian school. So if you go to a public school or a school where people would be really funny about it if you are a Christian, or people who would tease you, then I don't have that sort of experience. But what I can say is simply that you should just be authentic. Just be who you are. I mean, you don't have to be yelling from the balcony, but just being who you are and loving on people, being kind to people, being generous, that really shows. The heart of God shows through your actions and through the way you treat people. So keep doing that. And if people ask you about God and ask you about your relationship, be honest and just say, hey, look, yes, I believe in God, and he's actually my friend, and I have a personal relationship with him. It's not something that's super weird or freaky. It's just a relationship where we walk and do life together. Tips for finding like-minded friends. You always attract company that's sort of like you if you're being yourself. So just be yourself, enjoy life. If you're into music, or you're in music class or drama class, then the people around you, or art class, you'll find people there who like to do similar things that you like to do as well. Don't be afraid to make new friends as well who may not be in your classes or in your direct circles of friends, because there are so many wonderful people out there who probably need a friend who's just like you. How do you keep godly standards in dating in high school? Okay, so I actually didn't date in high school. I'm really thankful that my parents said to me, you're not allowed to date in high school until you finish high school. So I am actually really thankful for that. Because if they hadn't said that, I probably would have. But in hindsight, it's just not something that you need to do. And I have seen and did see friends of mine get really, really hurt. You're so young, you've got so much life ahead of you. You're not going to get married when you're in high school, so what's the point? Honestly, just enjoy life, just enjoy making friends, having fun, enjoy your hobbies, enjoy pursuing what you love to do, and getting stuck into your study. Yeah, that stuff will come, and there's no rush. What do you do if you feel the pressure to settle? Don't. Don't settle. You are so valuable. You are a princess. If you're a girl and you're watching this, you are a princess. You are so valuable. You are royal. And God wants the very, very best for you. You deserve the best. Don't settle. You don't need to settle. At all. Not in high school and not when you're finished school. Keep your standards high. Look after yourself and protect your heart. And you'll know when that guy comes along who is just really, really special and who is focused on God first before he's focused on you, and who treats you well. But that stuff will come. You don't need to go there in high school. You've got so much life ahead of you. How to avoid dating unequally yoked? Well, I guess the way to avoid it is simply just not to do it. I guess everyone's circumstance is different. So if you're in that sort of circumstance, then I just recommend and suggest that you chat to a youth leader or someone in your world who knows that person. But as a general rule, I would say, look, just forget it. If you believe one thing and someone else believes something else or doesn't line up with your beliefs, then you're going to be going in completely different paths as you head through life, and that's going to be really, really difficult. Wouldn't it be so wonderful to be on a journey with someone through life who believes the same thing as you, and then your family and your kids in the future and whatnot are all going in the same direction? I think that's a really wonderful thing. Tips for avoiding or dealing with temptation with someone you're dating. Look, what I would say is, first of all, if you have done things that you regret, things that you feel guilty about, things that you know, or you've done things that you wish you hadn't have done and that just don't line up with your beliefs, then I just want to say, first of all, to relax because you are forgiven. Please do not feel guilty. Please remember, come to God and remember that He sent His Son to die for you. He sent His Son to die for you so that every single sin, every single mistake, past, present, and future, is already wiped clean. You do not need to feel bad and hold on to those feelings. You are beautiful, you are loved, you are valued. But that doesn't mean that you have to stay there if that's where you've been. And if you haven't, you don't have to go there either. With God, He actually strengthens you for the journey. So I would just say to avoid temptations, avoid the situations that would get you into the temptations. So if that's being with a guy at midnight in a bedroom, then maybe avoid it. Just think about those things. Set some boundaries. The word boundary is so not fun, but it will save you a lot of heartache in the future. One piece of advice, the best piece of advice that I have received from someone about dating in high school is just don't go there. Don't do it. It's not necessary. Mind you, I will just say this, that actually two of my friends, they did date in high school, two couples that I know, and they are married now. So there is obviously an exception, but I know that these people, they spoke to their youth pastors, they had guidance, and they didn't do the journey alone. So it's not a hard and fast rule, but for me personally, I'm really, really thankful that I didn't, because I don't know, when you're a teenager, it's just, you don't necessarily know what you want yet. There's so many different things and you're still discovering who you are. So it's not exactly necessary to go there, because I mean, you're not going to get married when you're in high school. So why not just relax and enjoy the friendships? What do you do when you feel pressure to date because everyone else is? Okay, I haven't really been in this situation, because for me, when I was in high school, as I said, I sort of just blanket, no, I'm not going to date anyone. But what do you do when you feel pressure? I guess just chat to people in your life who are mentors. Have a chat to people and just tell them what's going on in your world. Be real. Get friends around you who support you in your decisions and who you can support in their decisions, to remind each other and encourage each other that it's okay. Yeah, there's absolutely no pressure. Just because other people are doing it does not mean you have to. You've got so much life ahead of you. You don't have to be doing things just because everyone else is. Tips for being single or content in high school. Okay, I think I've kind of answered this question already, but just to summarize it, I would say grab your girlfriends around you, enjoy your friendships, get stuck into your hobbies, do things that you love to do. I mean, you've got a whole lifetime ahead of you. You know, when you get married in the future, you're going to be married for the rest of your life, for a long time. So just enjoy that time of having fun and having friends, and take the pressure off